Okay, this is our intro to HTML. So it says, welcome to WebLab. The platform you're in is called WebLab. There's three main parts of the screen in WebLab, so here we go. Files. Files will be over here on the left side. Here's the files. Workspace is right here in the middle. And then preview is what it will look like over here. So do this. Try typing something in the workspace. So just double check. What is the workspace? That's the one in the middle. So type something. All right, now nothing happens, but it does say press refresh and save to see it in the preview area. So if I do that, okay. So if I type it in here, it appears over here. So that's the essential thing that you need to know about this one. Now that we're good here, we'll finish and go over there. There's a video here that you should watch. So I'm going to allow you to watch that on your own. I won't watch it here. I'm going to continue the next one. It's time to start exploring the HTML. This is a web page written in HTML, the language of the web. You'll learn more about it, how it works, but first explore it using the inspector tool. Do this. Click on the tip, how do I use the inspector tool on the right to learn how to use it? Okay, how do I use the inspector tool? It's a great way to learn more about unfamiliar code. To turn it on, click on the inspector off button. You'll know it because it will turn white and it'll say inspector on. Now it's on. And then it says once you turn it on, you can hover over anything in the preview area. Here's the preview area. And it will highlight the code that's making that part of the web page. So if I highlight over here, it says welcome to Webland. And then over on the left, you can see highlighted in blue, it says welcome to WebLab. There's extra information there too. This is a web page. So as I go down, it highlights the thing that it's actually using right here. So let's go down on the list. Use the inspector to see what pieces of code are linked. Discuss. What text is appearing in both the code and the web page? Well, the actual text right here is there, but that indentation right there is not. Like that little bullet point is not. So that must be represented with the code over here. And how is this language communicating extra information about the way to represent text? Well, things like, if it's bigger, if it's bold, if there's a enter, if it's like a new paragraph right over here, if there are bullet points. These are all the types of things that it may have. Another video for you to please watch. So this icon means this level is part of a larger project. Changes will be saved across the levels. So when you start any WebLab project, it will automatically add things like doc type, HTML head, and body tags to your project. When you add content to your projects, you'll need to do it between the body and the body tags. Notice a subtle difference. This is the beginning, this is the end, because it should be part of the body of your web page. So all of the stuff in between here is what should turn up. If I do it in the heading, that's going to be different. That's going to be the head. So do this. Write 3 separate sentences about any topic you like inside of the body tags of your web page. Hit refresh if you don't see the changes. So inside the body tag. So we can say this. Alfred Wegener was a scientist. He specialized in studying geology. He came up with the theory of continental drift. So there's my 3 sentences. It says hit refresh and save if you don't see the changes in the preview area. Well, I do see the changes right over there. Compare your work with the neighbor. Make sure we're placing the code in the same place. It looks like we are. It's located in between body here and body there. So we're okay. If I were to type it up here, continental drift, does that change anything? Yeah, it doesn't turn up over there. So it only works as long as I type it within the body part and the body part there. So everything does work. Now we can use paragraph tags. What's a paragraph element? Paragraphs are marked by opening P and closing P tags. Paragraphs in HTML can mean any length of text from one word to a bunch of sentences. Paragraphs group together sets of sentences and put some space between that group of text and the next group of text. Can I make multiple paragraphs? Yes, you can. So this code would be placed inside of the body of a web page. There's a paragraph, it has 2 sentences, it ends it, and then it says this is another paragraph. So we have just multiple ones stepped after another. So compare the results. So we're going to put it into at least 2 different sentences. So maybe I want to keep Alfred Wegener was a scientist. He specialized in studying paragraph. That could be one, and then we'll have another one after that. So here I can write in the code. And in case I'm not familiar, I can look up here again. So the code is P and then I'll put the other end paragraph over here. And then that automatically did it for me. Now, I believe if I do this over here, it'll do something similar. Probably will be the same thing no matter what I do. You have to close it for it to work. So now I have it in two different ones. So depending on where you put it, it might change it a little bit. But this did work for me. All right, last thing. Fix the broken tags. This simple web page has some issues, which are preventing the content from being displayed correctly. Identify and fix the issues. This practice is called debugging your code. We're getting rid of the mistakes, the problems, or the bugs. So first it says, what is a paragraph element? Paragraphs are opening P, closing P. We already talked about this. Why does HTML seem to work even when it's broken? That's interesting. HTML is read by your web browser to generate web pages. Since people often make little mistakes when writing their web pages, browsers are programmed to make the best guess of what you intended to do. That's cool. Sometimes different browsers are even programmed to make different guesses. The only way to ensure your code looks like you intend is to make sure you're always using your tags correctly. Okay. Why does code sometimes turn pink? I haven't seen it turn pink. WebLab is programmed to automatically detect some mistakes in HTML. When it knows a mistake, it turns that code pink. The mistake might be in pink, or it might be somewhere before the pink code. You'll need to carefully debug to find your mistake. Okay, so fix the broken one. So it says, this sentence should be on its own. So should this one. What's wrong with this sentence? Okay, so here's what I'm noticing. This has a P. It should be on its own. So, well, first of all, should have a period, so I'm going to add that. But then because it's the end of a sentence, I'm going to add the closing P one right there. And notice how it has that pink because it's not done yet, and then I close it right there. So now this one should also have its own P one right there because it already had the end one. And if I hit refresh and save, okay, so that worked. But now it says, what's wrong with this sentence? So there's something wrong here. So it looks like it has the slash in the wrong spot. Not only is it behind the P, but it should be at the end over here. So it should be in front of the P and it should be at the end right there. So now that I did that, everything's clear. All my bugs are gone, and this should work no matter what. So it looks like I have successfully debugged this. And we have finished our intro to HTML. Good job.